Yeah.
We're working on tricks and tactics.
Yeah.
Right.
Excellent.
All right, so here we go.
I have turned a few tricks and I could share my tactics.
What's that?
I said I have turned a few tricks and I could share my tactics, but they're trade secrets. Wait, what?
What?
Please put that in the interview. Keep going.
Oh, we will. We'll come back around to that. All right, so broadcasting from our studio in Florida, I'm Brody Barcode.
I'm Ryan James.
And
welcome to the Parlor,
your hub for independent art and entertainment, as well as a platform to showcase independent artists and entertainers abroad. Now that's gourmet. Today on the show, we have the incredibly talented independent artist, as well as entertainer, as well as educator, Mr. Greg Thompson. Hello, sir, and welcome to the Parlor.
How's it going?
Good, good.
I just was, is this causing big glare in my glasses? I could take my glasses off.
No, it's fine.
Only at some point. But it looks like you've been looking at the screen for a little too long, so it might be good to take off your glasses for a little bit.
Could be. I have been looking at the screen all day. Lovely. How's it going? Hey, I think those coffee cups would look great with somebody's ad on them.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely.
Like maybe a coffee sponsor?
Absolutely.
Right?
There's a place out in Gainesville that we got our eye on. And they serve midnight oil dark roast.
So hopefully as well, might have something in the works. We'll see.
Yes,
Wonderful.
This may be a free ad for the moment. Sweetwater.
Come on, folks. You guys have been working hard.
Oh.
I think that's grounds for a sponsor right there. Okay. I'll stop it.
No, it might be strong. It might be a little too strong. Not sure. We may need to sweeten it just a little bit.
Robust.
Mm-hmm.
So, Greg, I have a little surprise for you. Someone wants to say hello. I'm gonna have them chime in here. Hang on one second.
Not because you already asked me to be somebody else's surprise. I've already gone, oh my God, who are they going to have?
Paying it forward.
Absolutely.
I'll be like, oh gosh, who in the world?
Hello.
How are you?
Mr. Tito. How's it going,
Yes,
sir?
Oh, Tito.
Good, good. We've got Mr. Greg Thompson hanging out with us in the Parlor tonight. Figured you'd like to say hey.
That's great.
Hello, how are you?
Are you there?
Hang on one second. All right, go ahead.
Hey, Greg.
Tito.
How are you, buddy?
I'm great. How are you, dude?
I'm great. Thank you. I'm actually driving. I'm going to pull over. Here I am. Yeah. Good. I'm safe now.
I have been loving the pictures you've posted to Facebook, you world traveler, you.
Well, I'm actually going to Ecuador tomorrow morning. I'm leaving at 6 o'clock in the morning, so I'm driving to Orlando to my cousin's house to stay there overnight and take an Uber to the airport early in the morning. Going to Ecuador for 2 weeks.
Good for you. Well, stay safe, but have a great time.
So how are things in El Paso?
Very COVID-y apparently, at least outside my house, and that which is good with me. It's a strange thing, it's a strange thing.
Okay. You still teaching?
Yes, still teaching. So yeah, and it's been good. It's been really crazy busy, but good.
Excellent. Any plans coming to Ocala anytime?
I'm always planning to come to Ocala. I just don't ever seem to make it. I thought I was going to be there at Christmas, but I'm not going to be able to make it.
Oh, well.
I'm trying.
And I don't have any plans to go into El Paso anytime soon, so I'm glad I'm talking to you.
Dude. So what's happening with your stuff in Ocala, Tito?
Well, I'm kind of trying to retire. So I got one property that I'm trying to get rid of, to sell, and then my plans are to move to South America, to Colombia, as soon as I can.
Oh, wow.
What?
Wow,
That's cool.
Wow.
big news. Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, that's been the dream for a while, for a couple of years, but COVID kind of slowed it down some. And but I'm planning on being there on 2021.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's quick.
So
I remember we talked about this once upon a time. So yeah, but it's happening. Are you gonna make art? Are you gonna keep making art? That's what I want to know. Did you hear me? Are you gonna keep making art? That's the important thing.
yeah, it's gonna be yeah. Hopefully, I can do some workshops there. I can do some really cool stuff. We'll be up in the mountains, and I'm gonna try to keep in touch with other artists to see if they will come and see if we can do some really cool things there.
Road trip. Road trip.
There you go. That's right. That's right. Maybe you can be one of the teachers, and you can do a workshop down there.
That would be
I would come in a heartbeat.
That is so fantastic.
Yeah, we'll plan on it. We'll do it. We'll do it.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. Hey Tito, have you kept up with Standing Rock stuff?
I'm sorry?
Have you kept up with the Standing Rock stuff, the Dakota Pipeline stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We were in Los Angeles over the weekend and met this really amazing young lady that you would love. Her name is Dakota
Sister?
Iron Eyes. Have you heard this name?
I can't. I'm sorry. You're breaking up real bad. I'm sorry.
So we met a young woman in Los Angeles this past weekend named Dakota Iron Eyes. Have you heard about her?
And what does she do?
She's one of the big major, look her up, Google her, one of the major activists. She's been traveling with Greta Thunberg, and she's only like 16 years old, but she's pretty fierce.
Wow.
Check her out. I thought of you the other week because we were hanging out with a bunch of artists in Los Angeles, and she was amongst them because they've been working together doing various projects and stuff with her. Pretty incredible. God, 16 years old and just
Wow.
smart Native American woman.
Well, you have inspired a lot of young people. A lot of young people that I know that you have been the real mentor for them. So yeah, that would be great. Be really good. Do you keep in touch with her?
We'll see. I plan to. I plan to. I want her to talk to my kids at UTEP at the university because she was inspiring me. I was like, no, I'm being mentored here.
No.
That's the logic.
She's a film producer. She was from Ocala, or she was in Ocala for a while.
Yeah.
She was a friend of Anne. Anyway, she is in LA, and she's producing some films out there, and she's from Brazil. I don't know if you remember her, Gabi. But anyway, I've been seeing a couple of her things online, and she's doing really well in LA. Very, very well. Young girl, she's probably, 20, 21. She graduated from UCF and went to LA, and she's hitting it hard.
Good for her. It's great. Awesome. Well, Tito, travel safely. It was great to hear from you. Pardon?
He said it's good to hear your voice. He misses you.
I know. You too. Gosh, Tito, y'all probably don't know this. Tito and I have known each other 30 years.
Oh my God.
A long time, and you have been a very, very big influence in the Ocala, Marion County area. Greg taught my kids years ago, and then like one of them is 40, Chris, and he was in a play that Greg directed in the Civic Theater group of kids, and he was very, very influential in making a lot of those people great artists and creative, and bringing them up to the world of the art. So I really, really thank you, Greg. You especially for my kids and everybody else in this area. You've been a really big influence to everybody.
Well, that's incredibly kind. Thank you. It's like a second home to me. I love it, and I love you. You've always been there and been such a good friend, and such a great collaborator. That's the other thing. Tito's a great collaborator. So thank you, my friend.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's amazing.
Yeah. 30 years. Grapefruit chicken. When will you grill me grapefruit chicken in Colombia?
Well, I'll be in Colombia this next year, so yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm coming.
You got to work out a big project together, all of us.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be great.
It'd be so fantastic.
Well, I tell you, if you go down there, you won't come back. And we can do a lot of cool things up there in the mountains. It's a great environment for creative people. It would be awesome.
Yeah, it sounds
like I said, I'm planning to
amazing.
bring some people down that to do some workshops so that we can start something new.
Starting something new would be great.
That sounds
I would love
fantastic. I'm in. So.
Same here.
I would love it. There's a couple things that I've been working on that it's been so much fun during COVID and during. It's so weird to hear somebody actually say something good about COVID, but I mean during this time, it's really interesting how, if you stay in the work, it allows you to really focus. And there's 3 or 4 things that I've really hit on the last 6 or 8 months that I'm so enjoying working with actors on. Understandings of things that I don't think are taught very well sometimes, and that actors don't understand. And it has been exciting to see what that's doing. So yeah, I'd love to come teach a workshop. It's gonna be amazing.
Great.
Work on my tan.
COVID has done a lot of good things, have make us really look into ourselves and do a little bit of studying, a little bit of research, have a little bit more time to think and be creative. So COVID has, even though has separated everybody, physically, it has, I think it has brought a lot of things to everybody's creative and minds, and just good things that happen. I'm just looking, and always thinking that we got to look at the positive side of it, and I see a lot of positive from COVID.
Absolutely. I mean, in a crazy, incredible fashion. I mean, here we all are right now having a cool chat, hanging out. I mean, it's basically almost what birthed, the Parlor in this fashion. So I've been very grateful.
It's refreshing to have somebody look at this on a positive light outside of the stresses that we've all had to endure during all this too.
Because God knows we've all been hit in a crazy way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you there on that, Tito.
And the earth is healing.
Yeah, that it is.
I hope
a lot of things that it's kind of like put us back on default.
Yeah, let's hope we learn how to put it back together without doing some of the bad habits that we acquired over the centuries. Wouldn't that be a gift?
Yes.
Greg, are you doing any new projects, interesting things that we should know about?
I try not to be interesting. It takes so much energy. Mostly just focused on the teaching stuff, but I just finished,
That's why.
Do what?
You're always coming up with some kind of project, teaching, workshops, something creative, film festivals, so that's why I ask. You got something under your skin there, something that you're working on that you're not telling us.
No, I mean, just in the teaching, I'm doing a lot more of that and focusing on how to. I'm putting thoughts down on paper now and hoping someday after I'm dead and not embarrassed by it that there will be a book. And then I just finished directing a Latinx version of A Christmas Carol, and it has been a journey because it was already a journey to make it a Latinx production, which also inspired me to start writing my own Latinx production. It's a little different than that one, but also we had to turn it into a radio play at the last minute because you can't have people in a theater. So that's been fun. I literally listened to 27 versions of Christmas Carol as a radio play leading up to it, listening to different approaches and styles. And but that was fun. And I have to say, we had a great time. My cast was like, I feel like I had rehearsals, and it was so nice to come to rehearsal every night and see faces and feel like I'm doing what I love to do. And so one of the things I've taken away from it is to now tell all my kids and stuff, stop bitching and get creative. Stop it. Just stop.
Absolutely.
I know, but it's not, I don't care if it's the way it was. There is somebody in line who is going to keep creating, and they're going to find a way, and they're not going to use this energy and this time to complain and sit around and be sad. They're going to get ahead of you. So why don't you take the lesson from them and just go create, see what happens. We don't know. What an interesting time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Learn something new out of it. A new way to create.
Yeah, because somebody's going to, and it might as well be you. So that's what I'm doing right now. We're in the sound work phase of it. So we're hoping to have a rough cut in the next couple of days. And then I have 3 weeks to deliver it to the NPR people so they can broadcast it. But right now I'm working with a local professional as well as college mariachi group to score it, which is really fun because I love that music.
Sounds so cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
Nice.
The script that I'm writing, huh?
He was talking about the mariachis in El Paso. Should be all right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's they do a pretty good job here. They've played it once or twice. They're incredible. God, there's Houston Grand Opera did a beautiful mariachi opera last season. They had commissioned it several years back. And of course had the cream of the crop mariachi people and had them on stage, this massive orchestra.
Right there. Mariachis, yeah.
It was incredible.
That sounds like it was a very interesting experience too.
Yeah, it was something it was amazing to hear. It was visually very minimalistic, but it was an incredible. I mean, you got those guys up there and all those horns, and they just play so precisely, and incredible musicians. Cool.
Well, Tito, thank you so much for chiming in to surprise Greg. This was really fantastic. I know you were on the road driving, but like I said, we greatly appreciate you taking a moment there. So
sure.
Thank you.
Well, it's great to hear Greg, and it's great to talk to you guys, and we'll keep in touch.
Absolutely.
I will send you some pictures.
Oh, wonderful.
Please do.
Yeah, Greg.
Yes.
Good to hear you.
You too. I love you to tons. What did he say?
He said, "Be good. Don't do anything he wouldn't do."
Oh, that leaves me wide open. So Tito, be safe. I love you. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. Take care, Tito.
All right.
Have a great night. Be safe.
Bye. All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Had to surprise you, man.
I love Tito so much. He was one of the first people I met.
Yeah.
In Ocala. Outside of the theater, he was probably one of the absolute first people I met. And I still have a really ugly piece of pottery that he helped me throw. You know, a lot of people don't know. I have no idea in Ocala. Tito was a master potter.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know.
That's awesome. Yeah.
People done with that. So before he went into graphics and all that stuff, he's a phenomenal potter. And so our friend Ann Dunnan, whom you guys know, I don't know if you know Annie Brody, but I know that
I've heard the name.
Ryan knows
I've never met her though. Mm-mm.
Amazing designer and sculptor is her. She's a sculptor by trade, but she's a phenomenal painter and like off the charts good. And she had worked a lot with Tito, and so through Annie I met Tito, and she had a potting wheel at her cabin out at Lake George, and so I'd always wanted to try pottery. You know, after that whole ghost thing, I kept thinking, God, I would love to have a threesome with that. No, that is not true. I'm sorry, I don't know that. But no, I had always wanted as a kid. I thought that would be so cool. I want to know how that works. And I threw one of the ugly. It was a cool looking pot, and then I broke it. After it got to a certain point, it broke off. And I'm like, yeah, I was so mad. And then, like months later, I was back in Ocala to visit, and they took it and fired it and gave it to me. They're like, you don't realize that, you know, there's several artists sitting out here that actually think your accident made a really beautiful pot. You wouldn't have made it any other way. And I still have it. It's sitting in my living room. So it's kind of funny. All these little memories of those strange moments in Ocala. And Tito was part of that one.
Yeah, he was talking with us in our interview with him, how you guys, you know, collaborated and came together, bringing to life the Silver Springs International Film Festival. And what a ride that was.
It was the first time I got to meet him, and I was just intrigued by his presence and how many cool stories he has to share.
There's so many stories.
And such an optimistic personality that really rubs off on you. And how can you not smile when you're around Tito?
Yeah,
he's a great guy.
It's just good times, just hanging out. Yeah.
Yeah. He has such a cool energy. It's a really good energy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. He and I had actually taken so I went to Tito first because I knew that Tito knew Cesar. And so I was like, all right, well, I want to talk to these people about a film festival. And so that happened like 2 years before I got Lori involved. And then once Lori was involved, it all started to really take off. So it was funny that Tito and I'd already drawn up like the calendars and everything. I'd already put everything together and went to him and said, look, we should be doing this. You know, Ocala should be doing this. It's right for a festival. So, you know, and I had actually been brought to meet Brian and Tove Vasovsky, who had taken over the Marion Theater years before, and because they really wanted to do a family film festival. And they had, you know, someone said, would you go talk to them? Sort of as a consultant. And unfortunately, the family film festival thing doesn't work well. Yeah. That's why none of them have survived. I think there's 2 left now. There was one that was huge called Garden State Family Film Festival in New Jersey. And that one I would have thought would survive, and it hasn't. Part of it's because, you know, and people kept saying, well, why? Why are you saying that? I'm like, because the nature of a festival is to be edgy. It's to try things. It's not a bring your kids to this and tell you fun children's stories. It's just not.
Right.
But what we did do, you know, with Silver Springs was in order to honor that, because I do think can be done to a degree, and I think it's an interesting part of it, was, you know, our Saturdays at Silver Springs were devoted to family, where we would guarantee all our films are family friendly. You know, all our activities are family friendly. But there was another side to that. As a filmmaker, I know for a fact that by the time we get to Saturday, those filmmakers are partied out. They are networked out. They are partied out. They are deep fried, extra crunchy. And They ain't coming out on Saturday morning. They're just not. So it made sense that, well, to keep the festival running and alive, we'll keep the family stuff on Saturday and let them all slowly but surely wake up and pour, Bloody Mary in their eyelids, and then happen on over for the awards banquet. And it worked out really well that way because we got to give space to everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
It's a good time to be had by all.
Well, Greg, I know that you're kind of limited there on time. So I figure I'll go ahead and ask one last quick question. From that of being an educator within the realm of art and entertainment, what's like a big tidbit of advice that you would give to the up and coming artists, to the I guess to those independent entertainers that are, working to get to the level for where you're at today? What kind of advice would you give to them?
Well, first of all, if you're working to get to the level that I'm at, set your bar higher. Yeah. So that's my first bit of advice. Set your bar much higher than where I've gotten to, trust me. It was a conversation that we were having in part in Los Angeles over the weekend, and I think it's a really important conversation. And I noticed this probably 15 or 20 years ago. And I remember saying it, and people would be like, "Oh, whatever, that's very negative." And I'm like, "It's not negative. It's just a statement." Which, it's the great Shakespearean quote, and it's neither good nor bad. It's thinking that makes it so, right? Which the universe is not. It's not positive. It's not negative. It just is. Right. It's what we decide it is that matters. And so, with that in mind, I think, especially during this time, it's really important to remember that creative people we have a leg up. It's so easy for some of us to take on the mantle of anxiety and depression. I'm not saying those aren't real, and I'm not saying they don't find us sometimes when we least expect it. But we are our best antidote. I don't think any medication in the world is as powerful as the desire to be well. And you have to focus on it in order for that medication to be effective. And if you focus on your lack of wellness, you're going to get more of your lack of wellness. And if you focus on your wellness, you're going to get more of that. But moreover, I think it is critical to understand that as creative people, now it's so funny because there are studies, and there's a book that's coming out and it's talking about this specifically, how with creative people, it releases dopamine when we're in the process of creating. It's why it's addictive to us. It's why it's like, I've got to be in a show. I've got to be doing something. I've got to be writing. I've got to be creating. It is an addiction to a degree, in the sense that it does have a chemical reaction in our brains. Well, the problem with that is that when we get into bad spaces, creating drama feels the same way. Yeah. Creating negativity, creating anxiety, giving into that gets us in a swirl of creation that we don't realize is we're actually in a place of we're creating anxiety. It's come to visit us, and now we're adding to it, and so on and so forth. We get caught in it, and it keeps going. And it keeps giving us this dopamine hit that holds us there. And I just think it's so important for creative people to remember that it is our nature to create. And that means good, bad, or otherwise, negative, positive, and to be aware, just to be aware. When am I doing that? And I tell my actors all the time, if you have a bad habit, don't try to fix it. The worst thing you can do is try to fix it. Don't. Because then you focus on it and you will get more of it. You'll grow it. I just want you to be aware of it. Just know when it's happening. Feel it. What does that feel like?
Right.
It's amazing how awareness will make a wart go away faster than anything.
Yeah.
Just notice it. And as you're aware of it, the reason is because I know I watch it in my workshops, in my classes, and people begin to laugh at it. They begin to laugh at themselves in the moment. And they go, "Oh God, why am I doing that? That's so weird. What is?" And it just dissolves. And that's why I think it is really critical to remember that. We're going to create. Try to make sure your head is in a space where you're creating good, positive things that feed you and your desire to be well in your processes. And this bullshit of, I have to suffer for my art. You know what? Suffering people don't make very good art.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. That was a semi-interesting conversation in the 70s. It's dead. It's been dead. And it's amazing how, if you look back, and even those artists are saying, God, I spent so much time focused on suffering, all the art I could have made. Geez. So Most of the things I would say is during this time, get creative. Stop making excuses. Well, I don't like theater on Zoom. Well, it doesn't like you either. It's not what it was made for. But by God, it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Definitely.
can either get together with your friends, and but actors forget that's the work. Time on stage, time in front of a camera is not the work. That's the icing on the cake. It's how many scripts have you read? If you're not accountable for these things, get together and create a group of people. Zoom together every week. Skype together. FaceTime, whatever you got to do. Read a script together. Talk about it. Watch a film together. Whatever. That's the work.
Yeah.
And if you want to know why you're not a working actor, it's because you're not doing the work.
Right.
You're your own business. You have to take care of all that stuff. That's what keeps you sharp. That's what keeps your head in the game. That's what makes you ready when it's time to ice the cake. But the cake has to show up. And if you're not making cake, there's nowhere to put the icing.
No. Yeah.
It's just what it is.
That is so good.
Here's my strange advice. Something between a recipe and a bandage, and I'm not sure what it is, but and a psychohallucinogenic drug or something. I don't know, but it's somewhere near. So more some-ish stuff. So, all right, guys, I actually have to go teach a workshop.
Greg, you've been an incredible mentor. You still are.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight in the parlor. It's been really rad.
Thank you. I've looked forward to it. And Ryan, you were a wonderful surprise last week when I checked in and realized that you were the Ryan. I was like, dude, oh my God, that's right. Well,
right.
I know it was.
I knew you knew who he was.
I always hide in the shadows, and then next thing you know, I'm right there.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan. Oh, yeah. Oh, Ryan.
If you said his last name, I would have known right away. But you just said Ryan. I'm like, there's a lot of Ryans. Right?
My bad.
Right. Right.
And then when I saw, oh, that Ryan. It's like old home week. Very cool. All right, gentlemen.
All right, sir. Well, thank you so much. You want to close us out?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us all at the parlor. Still, I can't get this right. The subscribe button is going to be over here, somewhere in this frame, right? No, even actually more in Greg's frame, but not over Brody's crotch like I did last time. So, thank you for joining us in the parlor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're all going to be there. We also have a podcast of all of our interviews. So check us out on our website as well. Thank you very much.
Have a happy one.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Take care. Stay well.
Will do.